Have you ever been told to just believe in yourself? Or maybe you've been told that imposter syndrome is simply a lack of confidence. I've never found that explanation very satisfying. Because if you've experienced imposter syndrome, you'll know something strange about it. Sometimes it appears when you're genuinely underqualified, which makes sense, but other times it appears when you're actually quite capable. The same feeling can show up for completely different reasons. And I think that's where many of us get stuck. We keep trying to solve every kind of imposter syndrome with the same advice, such as believe in yourself, be more confident, fake it till you make it. But what if that's like giving every patient the same medicine before finding out what is actually making them sick? What if imposter syndrome isn't one experience? What if it's several different experiences that all feels quite similar? Today, I want to explore an idea that completely changed how I understand it. A side note, I do believe that there is great value in believing in ourselves, but in this video, I want to break down the different reasons why we experience imposter syndrome. Because I don't think the first question should be, how do I get rid of this imposter syndrome? I think the first question should be, what kind of imposter syndrome am I actually experiencing? Let's start with the first type. So type 1, the learning gap. Imagine someone who just started their first job as a therapist, a teacher, a musician, or a business owner. They'll probably feel like they don't know enough yet, or they worry that they will be found out. I should say found out. And sometimes they're probably right, not because they are a fraud, but because they are still learning. In this case, imposter syndrome isn't your enemy. It's information. It's reminding you that there's still knowledge, experience, and practice to gain. The solution isn't more confidence. The solution is competence. You study, you practice, you ask questions, and over time, confidence naturally follows. But not all imposter syndrome works this way. So now we have type 2, the identity mismatch. This one feels very different. For years, I thought I wanted to be a life coach. It sounded like the right path. I studied it. I tried to fit into that role, but something never felt right. I kept wondering whether I was an imposter. But looking back, my mind was never saying, you're not good enough. I think it was saying, this isn't quite you. Eventually, I realized something important. What I genuinely loved wasn't necessarily coaching itself, but it was about helping people understand themselves. I loved connecting ideas, finding words for experiences that people could feel but couldn't quite explain. I wasn't trying to be a coach. I was trying to become myself. And when I realized that, the imposter syndrome, the imposter feeling disappeared, not because I became more confident, but my identity became more honest. Sometimes we're not pretending to be competent. Sometimes we're pretending to be someone we are not. And our nervous system notices before our conscious mind does. Then there's another kind. This one doesn't come from a lack of skill or from the wrong identity. It comes from the past. Maybe you grew up feeling that love had to be earned. Maybe mistakes were criticized. Maybe success was expected. Or maybe you simply learned that your worth is dependent on your performance. And if that's the case, even genuine success can feel uncomfortable. You achieve something, and instead of feeling proud, you wait for someone to find that you don't belong. Not because you're actually an imposter, but because your nervous system had learned to expect rejection. In this case, the solution isn't learning more or changing careers. It's healing the beliefs that taught you your worth was conditional. So, what is your imposter syndrome trying to tell you? This is why I think asking, how do I get rid of the imposter syndrome, can sometimes be the wrong question, because different causes requires different responses. Maybe you genuinely need more experience. Maybe you're trying to live someone else's identity. Maybe you're carrying beliefs that no longer fit into your present life. The feeling is similar, but the path forward is completely different. So instead of immediately trying to silence your imposter syndrome, become curious about it. Ask, what is this feeling trying to point me towards? Sometimes it's pointing towards learning. Sometimes it's pointing towards authenticity. Sometimes it's pointing towards healing. Not all imposter syndrome are solved the same way, and perhaps the goal is to not believe in yourself blindly. Perhaps the goal is to understand yourself well enough so that confidence becomes a natural consequence. If this video resonated with you, leave some comments below, because sometimes your comments can help other people understand themselves and make sense of their own personal experience. And if you have a nuanced idea that you'd like to discuss or watch me share my opinion on, drop that in the comments section as well, and I'll see what I can come up with. And thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that as much as I have in making this video. I shall see you very, very soon.